I'm William Kumwembe and I welcome you to yet another edition of the program Business Time right here on Times Television, a magazine program where we'll bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines. And coming up in the program, tobacco demand could significantly drop. We have a report and new MBS strategic plan to boost exports. We have these and other stories. Stay tuned if you could.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone. With eTimes, right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about time.
In our main story in the program today, an investigation by Times has established that demand for Malawi tobacco is expected to drastically drop in the 2018-2019 season following a prolonged market and bloated volumes that characterized the sale of the Green God this year. This year, the Tobacco Control Commission, TCC, announced that the country produced 147.8 million kilograms against a demand of 171 million kilograms. However, at the close of the selling season, the Commission registered that 202 million kilograms of all types of tobacco were sold on the market this year, realizing about $337 million US. The development has come back to haunt the industry as our investigations have established that tobacco buying companies have slowed 20 million kilograms to next season's purchases, meaning that they will be buying less of the tobacco that will be produced. Chimwemwe Mangazi with the whole story.
TCC Chief Executive Officer Kaisi Sadala expressed ignorance on the matter, stressing that when they have completed consolidating demand figures for next year, they will make them public. He strongly indicated that he is not aware of any demand deductions being made by buying companies at the moment. Representatives of one of the tobacco buying companies, JTI Malawi, while declining to comment on the matter, emphasized that issues of demand and supply would best be dealt with if the country had put into force the tobacco industry bill. The company's Director of Communications and Corporate Affairs, Limban Kakome, said that Malawi is at a position where the international tobacco community is looking at how fast it moves to modernize and be compliant to tobacco regulations globally.
Malawi is quite a big producer of belly tobacco of the filler type, but there are also other competitors that do produce a similar style. Now we've safeguarded that position for many years, but it's not a guaranteed position. When buyers at an international level are looking at profiles, they will start to say, are we still being competitive? Are we still providing the climate that meets their requirements? At this stage, we're already starting to see a lot of pressure from the international buyers saying, you need to comply to this, you need to comply to that, otherwise they will start looking elsewhere. So there's a possibility that the demand can start to reduce depending on our lack of compliance to international requirements. For instance, there's already a reduced demand for next year. We've heard that certain buyers are saying if you don't meet ABCD, we will not be looking at a profile of demand that we normally do. We've heard of issues of tenancy issues, we've heard of issues of child labor for many years. And it's getting to a point where they are looking for action. They are not looking for rhetoric anymore. They want to see this country moving in the right direction. So the possibility of the country moving from what they call a core market to an opportunistic market is imminent. It can happen. It happened to other crops here in the country. Groundnuts. We used to be one of the leading groundnut exporter in the world, and we lost that position. We were in the top 3 in the 70s and 60s. We lost that position because we could not be compliant to quality aspects. We no longer feature in the top 100 today. So it's not something that cannot happen. It has happened before to other commodities.
Tobacco remains Malawi's major foreign exchange earner. From Lilongwe, I am Chimwemwe Mangazi.
Figures from the Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi ESCOM have shown that combined energy generation capacity has lowered in the past week from about 250 megawatts to the current 216 megawatts. ESCOM CEO Alexon Chiwaya says this would further affect the power situation in the country. He explains in this interview.
I think we published this in the papers. Because we are not able to meet the full demand. There's more demand than supply. This deficit is what we call shedding. So generally we are rationing the power by having this rolling program load shedding. We have grouped our customers into 3 categories. So we normally shed each category at once, but because of the prevailing conditions now, sometimes we tend to join 2 categories. So we prolong from 6 hours to more than around 9 hours, 10 hours these days. That's why we called for this meeting. It's not our meeting, it's a meeting from experts in the water to explain this phenomenon. Mind you, we as ESCOM, we don't now generate any power at all, according to the new reforms. We just buy and sell the customers. So right now we're buying all the power generated in the country, all the power that is available. Unfortunately, all that power is from mostly hydro generation through a GENCO. And because it's hydro based, of course it means it's relying on water flows from the Shire River, unfortunately. And because the river flows are getting reduced due to reduced low water levels in the lake, that's why I had to bring in experts from Met Department and Water Departments to explain that phenomenon so that people can understand why we are not satisfying the demand. But I should hasten to say, of course, it's temporal because, as you heard, so there may be some rains very soon. It has been explained that at this point in time, the water levels are very low in the lake, resulting in very reduced water flows in the river. But the situation made worse because of the Mwera winds tend to slightly push water upwards from south to north. And I think the figure of 5 centimeters was mentioned, that even 5 centimeters will result in 2 tons and tons of water reduced. Because the water, the heavy winds or Mwera winds tend to produce waves on the rivers, and those slight dips in the water result in a heavy reduction in water flows. This is why I had to explain, because I have to ask especially the experts to explain to us. On our side, we would like to buy from as many sources of power as possible, and the reforms now in the sector have enabled us to look closely at the energy mix in the country, so that we are now free to buy from the power using solar sources, wind sources, geothermal in future, coal of course in the future again, biomass, waste management, and others. Currently we've signed so many IPPs, or a few IPPs. We're also talking to many potential IPPs so that we can have term sheets and the PPAs signed. But the commercial banking dates are not immediate. I think the latest come online could be around April, May, maybe March earliest next year, using solar in Salima, later in Kota, solar in Golomot later, and in Kota to follow. But also there are others coming to show interest and solicited IPPs. We are entertaining them, talking to them, and some of them are promising to bring power online earlier than that. But it's up to them. We'll push them to deliver as per their word.
Pressure has started mounting on the local trading unit, the Malawi Kwacha, as the country passes through the lean foreign exchange period. Investment management and advisor firm Alliance Capital has said in its October 2018 economic report released on Wednesday. Alliance Capital says the Kwacha has steadily depreciated against the dollar since September 2018. We have more in this report.
As at October 5, 2018, Malawi's foreign exchange reserves stood at $690.48 million, or 3.3 months of import cover, down from $745.49 million, or 3.56 months of import cover, recorded on September 5, 2018. Alliance Capital says since the tobacco market is closed and we are in the lean period, it expects the kwacha to continue depreciating. It adds that it expects volatility to persist on the Kwacha Rand and Kwacha Pound sterling pairs, albeit a depreciating bias. Malawi's gross official reserves were drawn down significantly after the onset of the lean season, but remained above the internationally recommended 3 months cover. Against the South African Rand and British Pound, the Kwacha moved in a narrow range, albeit with a depreciating bias in October. The strength of the local unit against the pound sterling and the rand mainly reflected the weakening of these two currencies on the global market. Among others, the pound sailed through turbulent waters in October, falling to a 6-week low following political worries surrounding Brexit and the release of weaker than earlier anticipated inflation data. The Kwacha pound exchange rate opened the month of October trading at 947.24 Kwacha and closed at 925.72 Kwacha. To the rand, the local unit opened the month of October trading at 51.63 Kwacha and closed the trading at 50 Kwacha. However, the rand broadly weakened in October following speculative report which said the US was preparing another fresh round of tariffs against China. The rand was also battered by a report by credit rating firm Moody's, which argued that the budget estimates presented by South Africa's Minister of Finance were credit negative. In its September 2018 monetary policy report, the Reserve Bank of Malawi predicted that the exchange rate would remain stable given the sufficiency of reserves and tight liquidity in the foreign exchange market. For Times, in Blunder, I'm Tawanga Sabola.
Remember, this is Business Time right here on Times Television, a magazine program where we'll bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. We'll be right back.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone. With eTimes, right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about time.
Welcome back. The Malawi Bureau of Standards on Wednesday launched the 2017 to 2022 strategic plan. The plan would set the strategic direction that the Bureau would follow for the next 5 years. We have more in this report.
Speaking during the launch of the strategic plan, Director of Planning in the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism, Francis Joao, said government is keen to see that all issues outlined in the strategic plan are implemented.
To Malawi Bureau of Standards, I think this is a positive step towards achieving so many things that they want to do in future. Because the strategic plan which they have developed gives an indication of where they want to be and how they want to achieve certain specific objectives with the desired outputs, with very clear time frames that by 2022 they will achieve A, B, C, D, and all of those activities are supported by the financial resources. So in broad terms, it's a positive development in as far as the Malawi Bureau of Standards is concerned. And also considering that last week they were accredited in terms of best standards. So in their vision, this should be a positive step towards achieving the goal. There are specific objectives to do with the capacity, strengthening capacity and the building. There are specific objectives to do with the certain standards that they want to meet, and also to do with the financing, and those are consistent. Within the strategic plan, there are implementation arrangements and the monitoring and evaluation frameworks that have been developed, and those will form part and parcel of monitoring how they are achieving their targets and to be consistent with what is obtaining elsewhere in the world.
Malawi Bureau of Standards Board Chairman Action Amos said the strategic plan is crucial in shaping the strategic direction of the organization.
Well, as you know, we're living in an economy which is changing. So as Malawi Bureau of Standards, we're looking at the dynamism of the economy that we're living in, and we needed to strategize a roadmap for the next 5 years where we'll see ourselves improving as an organization. As you know, there are a lot of challenges that we currently faced with, including issues to do with infrastructure, issues to do with influx of goods that are coming in the country, which are substandard, and all these needs to be addressed. And the only way to do so is to have a strategy that addresses some of the gaps and issues that we currently have. Well, all pillars are interlinked and they work hand in hand. By fulfilling one of them, it means that we'll be able to complement each of the pillars so that we achieve. It's a holistic approach that we have taken. We do not have any special pillar that we are looking at. But the pillar that I would say would be putting much more emphasis is a pillar to do with governance and reforms. As you know, as government, they have embarked on a reforms agenda. So as Malawi Bureau of Standards, we're part of this agenda and we'll be promoting this agenda as an organization.
Reporting for Times in Blantyre, I'm Taonga Sabola.
Petroleum company Total Malawi on Wednesday introduced 5 new products to the Malawi market. The lubricants were unveiled in Blantyre at the start of the company's 3-week promotion dubbed Lubricants Roadshow campaign. For more on this story, Elikim Sikiti has this report.
Total Malawi officials say the campaign alone has also created job opportunities for 10 Malawians who will be marketing and distributing the products. Speaking after officially unveiling the products, Total Malawi Managing Director Salamata Bo said the new products are a clear indication that the company remains committed to ensuring that its Malawian customers have access to quality petroleum products. Bo then expressed satisfaction with the way business is going on in the country, pledging continued innovative ideas from the company to serve the best interests of Malawians.
Total Malawi is launching this promotion because lubricant is a very big activity in Total Malawi, and we're trying to grow our brand awareness around lubricants and also to explain to our customers that these are the best products that they can find on the market. We have a large range of products for premium, standard range, for low end, so you can find everything you need in our lubes range. These products are unique because first they can help you keep your engine younger. They will help them prevent for corrosion. It will also help you reduce your fuel consumption. It will reduce the emission of particles that you do. So it's also a sustainable element in purchasing lubricants, and it's increasing also the performance of your engine. Total is faring pretty well. We are the leader on the market here in Malawi with almost 38% of market share. So I think the business is doing good. We just opened a Solarize, our first solar-powered service station in Lilongwe, Area 6. So we hope we will be increasing the business activity here in Malawi.
Total Malawi is expected to continue with the roadshow campaign in all districts across the country. For Times, this is Eric Nsigiti.
Proceeding with the program, let us now have a look at how the Malawi kwacha is faring against major trading currencies on the foreign exchange market. One of the country's high street banks, EcoBank, has entered a $5 million partnership with the Global Communities Malawi to enhance access to finance among agribusiness, small and medium enterprises in the country. Chimwemwe Mangazi has more in this report.
EcoBank Managing Director Charles Asiedu said that the partnership is strictly targeting players in the agriculture value chain, from the actual farmers through to distribution, manufacturing and those in the exporting sector. He He emphasized that banks have over time shunned away from the SME sector because of the high default rate among SMEs, but have put in measures to accommodate only those that are able to service their loans for the initiative to be ongoing.
We are assessing up to $5 million, but from now to say middle of next year, if the utilization is robust, if it's very strong, we have the chance to increase, even double the amount size. And I just have to chip in something very quickly. This is available to 5 countries in COMESA area. And this is the very first access that we're having among the 5 countries, the first time being accessed by EcoBank through our collaboration with global communities in Malawi here. So the 5 countries are looking up to Malawi, and for that matter, EcoBank, to make sure that this really goes a long way to benefit the people. So 5 million to each farmer or to each SME company, how much can they access? The amount ranges between $50,000 to around $1 million per that entity. But we wouldn't want to give just $1 million to one person. We want to have multiples so that the impact becomes very significant for the economy.
Global Communities Program Manager Nobel Moyo said that the partnership falls under the Agribusiness Investment for Market Stimulation Initiative, supported by the United States Department of Agriculture, which aims at catalyzing the lending to agribusiness SMEs.
We value this partnership very much because it will assist in the catalyzing the lending to agribusiness SMEs that have been neglected for quite some time. And also, it also shows that now the banks are coming forth in trying to value the agribusiness sector, which is the main core of the economy in the country.
Speaking when he graced the establishment of the partnership on Wednesday in Lilongwe, Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Water Development Joseph Mwanamveka said the partnership will complement government efforts in trying to develop the agricultural sector so that it can meaningfully contribute towards the economic growth and development of this country.
This initiative by EcoBank is very, very important, as you're aware that agriculture is the mainstay of this economy, and the agriculture is key, and that's what drives the economy. So, but the fact that EcoBank has introduced this initiative of providing loans to SMEs is very important, because as you know also that one of the challenges that we have in Malawi is access to finance, and most of our SMEs are struggling to get loans from financial institutions. So this initiative will go a long way to helping the SMEs to grow and also to improve their incomes. So this is a very important initiative by EcoBank.
From Lilongwe, I am Chimomo Mangazi.
Now you can access the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times newspapers anytime, anywhere, by the click of a mouse or a swipe on your smartphone. With eTimes, right on your mobile gadget. Flip through the pages with a swipe or a click. Navigate through all pages and see clear pictures and designs. Access a database of previous papers of the Daily Times, Malawi News, and the Sunday Times. Easy. Subscribe now to eTimes. Go to www.times.mw/e-edition. Sign up and log in. Enter your password and enjoy the newspaper. It's about time.
Well, on that note, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time right here on Times Television, a magazine program where we'll bring you major business and economic news stories making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. But always remember, if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. Bye for now.